We want to send things out to the Elbert County Sheriff. We're going to listen in on a press conference. There is a shelter in place in Elizabeth. We want to go to that right now.
Exchange of gunfire between deputies and the occupant of the residence. One officer was struck in the soft plate of their ballistic vest. The officer suffered minor injuries and has been evaluated by medical personnel. We contacted Douglas County Regional SWAT team to assist with additional resources to resolve the situation.
What kind of search warrant were you administrating here?
It was a search warrant.
It was a search warrant. Can you give us the nature of what that search warrant was about?
It was for, at this point in time, I'd not like to say what the search warrant is just because we're in the infancy of the investigation.
And as the person, there was a person that was firing at deputies. What's going on with that person right now? Are they dead? Have they been shot?
As far as I know, last I knew, is that he was deceased.
He was deceased.
That's the person who was in the apartment that is deceased, is that correct? And where was the sheriff's officer struck again? Would you be more descriptive of that? You said
I was in the soft part of the ballistic plate or ballistic panel of their protective gear.
And was that officer transported to a hospital, and how are they doing?
Suffered minor injuries. And
he did not. He was not transported to a hospital. He was evaluated at the scene and released for very minimal injury.
And Sheriff, can you tell us more about how your team approached this apartment complex, what they were doing, how they were doing this, sir?
So as we approached to serve the warrant on this location, we did a surrounding of the building, and as they approached the door was opened and the shots were fired.
How many shots? Can you give us an approximate number?
No idea, sir. That's still being investigated right now.
Sheriff, do you know the number of people that were inside that apartment unit?
One.
So, and there was one man who was dead?
Yes.
One man at this point, I'm assuming you can't disclose his name?
No, sir. The CIT team and all the investigators are just now getting on scene to take over the investigation, and I'm sure they will have further information for you all when that investigation is complete.
And Sheriff, can you tell us, when your teams arrived, did they approach the door and knock on the door, or did they say, come out with your hands up? Can you walk us through that part of it?
That I can't do right now because they're still in the process of investigating it. I know the door was open and shots were exchanged and then people retreated. That's all I know.
Were there other people in the apartment complex where this was happening, in the neighboring units, or what was the situation?
There were a few other neighboring units, but I can't tell you which ones were. But after shots were fired, we made sure that everybody and all the surrounding was evacuated.
Just want to make sure no Elizabeth police officers were involved in this operation, or were they present?
Yes, they were present as well.
And is an Elizabeth police officer injured, or Elbert County?
It's an Elbert County Sheriff deputy.
Okay. And your office were working together already to administer the search warrant?
Correct.
Were there any explosives or anything like that found inside this apartment unit? Because we saw the bomb squad here.
No. Well, we don't know because we're just now getting inside the apartment.
There was a lag between, obviously, the response and the initial shooting. Were you unaware of his status?
Correct.
After the initial shots?
After the initial shots, we hunkered down some more, tried to put tear gas into the residence while waiting for Douglas County to arrive with their additional equipment. And once they got the additional equipment and we're inside, they were able to determine that one male subject was down on the floor. At that point, they breached the door, went in, and found the male subject deceased on the floor.
Is that the percussion we heard? Was that door breached?
Yes, yes, sir.
Sheriff, what goes through your mind? This is a very close call for one of your officers.
Correct.
What goes through your mind when you see something like this play out, sir?
Well, when I first heard it, I couldn't believe it. The deputy who did get struck, he's a very seasoned deputy. He is very strong, level-headed person, and my heart just dropped as soon as I heard shots fired and we had one hit. So I wanted to make sure he had the best of care in getting him out of the scene as soon as possible, safely get him out. But when I got told that he was fine and was remaining on scene until we got additional resources there. Once Douglas County came with additional resources, we were able to extract him from the scene where he was properly evaluated, and he is fine.
Chief, stuff like this doesn't happen out here very often. It's a rare occurrence for your team.
It is. It is a rare occurrence out here.
Now that this has happened, what's going through your mind?
Need more resources for me personally.
What kind of resources?
Manpower, equipment. It's the world's changed in the last 10 years. I've been a cop 40 years, and from the 40 years up to now, things have changed a lot. I'm sure Chief will agree with me that we have to be prepared for anything out here. It may not happen very often, which we're very thankful for, but we have to be ready and prepared for it.
Could you describe the nature?
And we were just listening in right now to the Elbert County Sheriff's Office. They were holding a press conference in Elizabeth. We know that there was a shooting at an apartment in the 100 block of Spruce Street in the area of 175. What we just learned during that press conference is that one officer was struck in the soft plate of their ballistic vest. They were treated on scene and released right there. They were not transported to a hospital. They just had minor injuries. We do know that the suspect was shot and killed. That was the only person in the apartment in this area. Again, we were just listening in to the Elbert County Sheriff's Office there. That Elbert County Sheriff's deputy was shot but is going to be okay. They just had minor injuries. That shelter in place that was initially posted about 9 o'clock this morning when we first learned that information, that the Town of Elizabeth Police Department and Elbert County Sheriff's Office about 9 o'clock this morning has been lifted. We're going to have a lot more on this. Jeremy Hohola is live on scene out there continuing to ask questions, and we'll have a lot more on this at 9 News at noon at 12 o'clock.
All that at all in your time of service here?
Not since I've been here.
And how long have you been
6 years.
Thanks, Sheriff.
That's it for now.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
your
much,
time.
everybody.
Appreciate it. Glad you guys are okay.